Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're embarking on a really extraordinary deep dive. We're looking into a set of ancient sources, ones that offer this unique, incredibly potent glimpse into the Buddha's very first teachings and experiences right after his enlightenment.
Exactly. We're focusing on excerpts from VAGGA I. It's a collection of what are called Udānas, these inspired utterances. And they really illuminate core Buddhist principles, but they also radically redefine what it actually means to be enlightened or, liberated. Our mission here really is to pull out insights that challenge our maybe conventional ideas about purity, wisdom, and that path to real freedom.
Okay, so to really get a feel for how radical this is, we need to set the scene first, right? That pivotal moment, the Buddha's enlightenment under the Bodhi tree by the Naranja River, the sources put us right there feeling that bliss of liberation for 7 days.
In this first section, it actually details chronologically these three profound meditative insights the Buddha had over 3 watches of the night, right after he became enlightened.
Okay, so the first watch. We get this concept of dependent origination, the direct order, they call it, this chain reaction that shows how suffering arises. It starts with ignorance, leading to formations, then consciousness, mind, body, the senses.
Oh, the 6th sense base, yes.
Then contact, feeling, craving, clinging, existence, birth, and finally, aging, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, despair. It's laid out as the origin of the whole mass of suffering. It's almost like the ultimate domino effect of suffering he's outlined.
Exactly. The Udāna, the inspired utterance for that moment, it shows that just grasping this whole cause and effect chain, it dissolves all doubts. What's truly revolutionary here, I think, is that he's not just saying suffering exists. He's giving us a diagnostic tool.
Yeah.
By understanding each precise link, ignorance to despair, we get this actionable map. We see where to step in and dismantle it, not just manage it. It kind of turns suffering from this big abstract problem into something solvable for anyone.
That is incredibly detailed. But, for someone listening, it might still feel a bit abstract. Can you maybe give a concrete example, something from today? How does craving leading to clinging play out, maybe outside a purely spiritual context?
Oh, absolutely. Good question. Think about scrolling endlessly on social media. That's a common one. The feeling might be, say, boredom, or maybe just curiosity. The craving kicks in for something new, connection, maybe just distraction. And then the clinging is when you just can't put the phone down, right? Even when you know you should. And that leads to lost time, maybe comparing yourself to others, this subtle feeling of unease. That's a small mass of suffering right there. Understanding that link, craving to clinging, helps you see it happening.
Okay, yeah, that makes it much clearer. Definitely relatable. So then in the middle watch of the night, he contemplates the same thing, dependent origination, but backwards, the reverse order.
Exactly. And this is the path to the cessation of suffering. If ignorance ceases, then formations cease, consciousness ceases, and so on, all the way down the chain. Until aging, death, sorrow, despair, they all cease. It's presented as the cessation of the whole mass of suffering.
Right, the undoing of the domino effect.
Precisely. And the Udāna for this part, it emphasizes knowing the destruction of the causes removes doubts. Stepping back, the bigger picture here.
Yeah.
This is the core insight into how freedom from suffering is actually achieved. It's not just about stopping the bad stuff. It's about going right to the root cause and, pulling it out entirely.
Yeah.
Uprooting the cycle.
And then the last watch of the night?
In the last watch, he contemplates both ways, direct and reverse order, achieving this complete holistic understanding.
Okay.
And this leads to an Udāna about dispelling Mara's army, which is this ancient metaphor, right, for all the temptations, defilements, the mental roadblocks, everything that hinders enlightenment. And understanding this cycle illuminates the sky like the sun. It brings clarity, which really makes you ask, how does this ancient, really detailed analysis of suffering, how does it offer a path to clarity for us now? In our lives, which are so packed with information, often just overwhelming?
Yeah, that's a great question. Okay, so moving from those deep enlightenment insights, there's another really groundbreaking thing in these early teachings, isn't there? This complete rethinking of social norms, especially what it means to be truly noble or a Brahmin.
Yes, that's a huge theme. Traditionally, Brahmin was a birthright, a social status.
Yeah.
But the Buddha completely flips that. He makes it about internal qualities.
Right. The texts keep contrasting, external labels, status, rituals with what's going on inside.
Exactly.
There's one story about a Brahmin described as haughty. He comes up and asks the Buddha, point blank, what really makes a Brahmin? And the Buddha says, well, a Brahmin is someone who's cast out evil ways. Someone who is without humming, which means humble, not arrogant. Someone stainless, self-controlled, who has gone to the end of the Vedas, meaning deep spiritual understanding, not just book learning.
Right, true wisdom.
Has lived the holy life, and crucially, has no conceit anywhere in the world. It's completely about spiritual achievement, not who your parents were.
It's radical. And then there's another account where the Buddha points to his top disciples, Sariputta, Mahamoggallana, Ananda, and he calls them Brahmins.
Even though they weren't necessarily born into that caste?
Exactly. And a monk who was born a Brahmin is, like, confused. He asks why. And the Buddha says, those who have cast out evil ways, who always abide mindful, Buddhas whose fetters are destroyed, they indeed are Brahmins in the world. The really striking thing here is just how consistent he is. Internal purity, freedom from defilements, that's the true mark of nobility. It completely upends the social hierarchy of the time.
It sounds like he was basically taking apart the whole social structure and rebuilding it based on, like, spiritual merit. How revolutionary was that back then? And maybe how does that challenge still hit home today when we often define people by, I don't know, wealth or job titles?
Oh, it was profoundly revolutionary. I mean, in a society structured around caste, saying spiritual worth comes from inner purification, not birth. That's a direct challenge to the entire system. And today, well, we might not have formal castes in the same way everywhere, but we absolutely create hierarchies, don't we? Based on money, jobs, influence, social media followers. This teaching pushes back hard. It challenges us to look past those surface things and value genuine inner qualities instead, like integrity, compassion, wisdom.
Yeah, that still feels pretty revolutionary. Then there's that really moving story about Mahakassapa, the revered disciple.
Ah, yes.
He's recovering from illness, and apparently 500 deities offer to help him get food, alms. But he refuses them deliberately. And instead, he goes to the poorest streets in Rajagaha, the miserable and waver streets.
Seeking out the neediest.
And the Buddha's Udāna about him is powerful. He says, him I call a Brahmin, one who does not live by others, is unknown, tamed, established in essence, with defilements destroyed, having spewed out defilements. It just highlights this incredible humility, this non-attachment even to divine help.
It really does. And if you step back, the broader significance is huge. It's such a powerful statement about choosing genuine spiritual practice, choosing radical humility over any kind of external validation, even celestial favor or worldly recognition. Imagine the shockwaves it sent. Think about today. What if we suddenly redefine success not by power or wealth, but by, say, generosity and inner peace? It's a total paradigm shift.
Absolutely. The stories keep coming. There's the encounter with the Ajakalapaka Yaksha, a nature spirit or demon.
Yes, tries to scare the Buddha with noises in the dark.
And the Buddha's Udāna basically says a true Brahmin is someone who has gone to the far shore in his own dhammas, mastered their own inner nature and practice. And because of that, they overcome the demon and the noise. It's about inner mastery over fear, over distraction.
Exactly. Inner resilience. Then there's that really difficult story, the one about the Venerable Sagamaji.
Oh, right. His former wife comes to him.
Yes, with their child. She begs him, now a monk, to support them. And he remains completely silent. Doesn't acknowledge the child, even when she just leaves the baby there in front of him.
It sounds incredibly harsh on the surface.
It does. It's challenging. But the Buddha sees this with his divine eye, and he declares, him I call a Brahmin, one who does not delight when coming, does not grieve when departing, who is liberated from attachment like Sagamaji. It's illustrating this profound level of emotional detachment. Not coldness, the text implies, but freedom. Freedom from being pulled by those incredibly strong emotional bonds, personal history, sentiment, even when facing something so emotionally charged. Liberation means not being swayed.
Wow, that is challenging. Okay, and then there's the contrast with the ascetics bathing in the cold river.
Yes, the matted hair ascetics at Gaya, freezing in the river in winter, thinking, by this is purity. And the Buddha just observes this. And his Udāna is so sharp, so direct. Not by water is one pure. Many people bathe in it. Simple fact. He continues. In whom there is truth and dharma, he is pure and he is a Brahmin. It's a direct hit against empty ritualism. It puts the emphasis squarely on ethical conduct, truth, dharma, and deep understanding, not just external actions.
Right.
Which, again, makes us ask ourselves, doesn't it? How often do we mistake the external display, the ritual, whether it's religious or just societal, for genuine inner change? It's a constant reminder that the real transformation happens inside, not just by going through the motions.
Okay, so bringing all these threads together now, this redefinition of Brahmin, the focus on inner qualities, detachment, understanding over ritual. Let's turn to this final story. It's really dramatic, and it seems to encapsulate so much, maybe offering the ultimate key. We meet Bahiya Dārucīriya. He's a highly respected ascetic, but crucially, he thinks he's already an arahant, fully enlightened.
Right. He has this self-perception. But then a deity, who is apparently a relative in a past life, gently corrects him. Tells him, no, you're not quite there yet. You need to find the Buddha in Savatthi. He can teach you the real path. And Bahiya just goes immediately, travels day and night, arrives completely exhausted. That urgency just speaks volumes about his spiritual thirst, his commitment to finding the actual truth, even after thinking he already had it.
Amazing dedication. So he finds the Buddha, who's out on his alms round looking, incredibly serene. Bahiya just prostrates himself right there and begs for a teaching. Right then and there, he insists life is uncertain. That classic Buddhist theme. He asks 3 times, and the Buddha, even though he's on his alms round, finally gives him this unbelievably brief, direct instruction.
Shockingly brief, yeah. He says, Bahiya, you should train yourself thus. In the seen, there will be only the seen. In the heard, there will be only the heard. In the sensed, smell, tasted, touch, there will be only the sensed. In the cognized, there will be only the cognized.
That's it.
Almost, he continues. When for you, Bahiya, in the seen, there is only the seen. In the cognized, there's only the cognized. Then, Bahiya, you are not there. Meaning, you're not lost in your subjective interpretation, your commentary, your clinging. When you, Bahiya, are not there, then you, Bahiya, are not here in this world, nor beyond in some future world, nor in between both. This, the Buddha says, is the end of suffering.
Wow.
And what's just staggering about Bahiya's story is that it challenges our whole idea of what liberation takes. His mind was liberated right then, immediately, no clinging. Just from those few words, this wasn't years of grinding practice, it was instant awakening from this deceptively simple instruction. It suggests the path isn't necessarily about piling up knowledge or rituals, but maybe about this radical, immediate shift in perception itself.
So it's like stripping away all the mental chatter, all the commentary our minds automatically add, the judgments, the stories we tell ourselves, the likes, the dislikes, just experiencing reality directly, as it is, unfiltered, without our mental spin.
That's a great way to put it. Exactly. It's like, imagine you're trying to watch a movie, but your mind keeps adding subtitles, writing reviews in real time, predicting the ending, comparing it to other movies. Bahiya's teaching is like the Buddha saying, just watch the movie, see only the seen, hear only the heard, stop adding all the extra stuff.
Just be present with the raw data of experience.
Precisely.
But then the story takes such a tragic turn, doesn't it? Right after the Buddha leaves, Bahiya is accidentally killed by a young cow with its calf.
Yeah, it's jarring. So sudden. The Buddha later sees his body and tells the monks to cremate him, build a stupa for him, and he calls him a fellow brahmachari who has passed away, acknowledging he lived the holy life, even if briefly after that teaching.
And the monks are confused, right? They ask about his destiny given the sudden death after such a quick enlightenment.
Understandably perplexed, yeah. But the Buddha declares him wise, someone who acted in line with the Dharma, and then he states it unequivocally. Bahiya Dārucīriya is fully extinguished. Parinirvana. That term, Parinirvana, it's crucial. It doesn't just mean death. It means complete, final liberation, the ultimate goal, nirvana. He achieved it in that moment of understanding the teaching. His death didn't change that attainment.
So he reached full liberation right there.
Yes. And the final Udāna describing this state, it's incredibly profound. It goes beyond our usual understanding of reality, where water, earth, fire, and wind find no footing. There are no stars shine, the sun gives no light, the moon does not radiate, darkness is not found. Quote, when a sage knows by himself as a Brahmin through silence, then he is liberated from forms and formless, from pleasure and pain. Quote. It really forces us to ask, what does that mean? To be fully extinguished, to be beyond all perceivable reality, all dimensions, yet fully present and liberated.
Wow, okay. So our deep dive today, it's really taken us on quite a journey from the very first moments after the Buddha's enlightenment, through his radical redefinition of spiritual purity and what makes a Brahmin, all the way to that astounding, incredibly concise teaching that led Bahiya to immediate, full liberation.
And the common thread, I think, running through all these narratives is this incredibly powerful message. True spiritual attainment, true liberation, it isn't ultimately about your social status or performing complex rituals or even mastering intricate doctrines. It's about a profound internal transformation. It's about freedom freedom from delusion, from attachment, and maybe most subtly, freedom from that constant habit we have of adding extra layers onto our direct experience.
Yeah. We heard how truth and dharma define purity, not external acts, and how simply seeing, hearing, sensing, cognizing, just that, without adding anything more, can be the direct path to liberation. So, thinking about all this, and maybe for you listening, where in your modern life, perhaps without even realizing it, do you find yourself clinging to external validations or adding those unnecessary layers of interpretation, judgment, or expectation onto your direct experience? What might be preventing your own moment of clarity?